Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast. My name is Mike Quartararo. This is my co-host,
Jeff Hirvela.
Jeff, good to see you. This is Mind Matters. This is a program where first of all, it's brought to you by ACEDS and MCG. And we'll give you some information about what those are and how to get to them. This is a space where we share real stories. We talk openly about physical, mental well-being, addiction, recovery, and all of the myriad different ways that you can deal with it, those things. We've got a guest today, but before we start, as we always do, Jeff, how we doing?
Doing good, Mike. I'm actually enjoying this live format. We were saying that usually do this over camera, and so we're in little boxes. So doing this in person, there's like an energy. We were goofing around before this. Like, I'm really excited about the conversation today. As you mentioned, we're coming from Relativity Fest, and
I didn't mention, but now that you did, that's good.
Well, now I've mentioned it.
Live from Relativity Fest 2025. We are in Chicago.
And that's how you know we're live, right?
Yes,
there.
That's
how
it is.
you know it's live. So
Mistakes.
the thing about this week that I was going to share in kind of the update here is, for me, Relativity Fest was always a big party. It was like, this was in my understanding of my job, it was up to me to have the crazy parties, to have the crazy dinners, to have the big stories every night. And so what I realized in looking back on that, now that I'm not doing that, is a lot of that was based on my own insecurity. A lot of it was based on my own fear of being found out to like not be that interesting if I didn't have all this other stuff going on around me. And I will have to say, like, over the years, doing this both in my prior days using and in my sober days, it took a little bit of time to feel comfortable in my own skin, even in sobriety, to come to these conferences and feel like I was still enough. But this past week has been amazing. I've been seeing a lot of friends, realizing there's like real connections there, that I don't need to be this like bigger personality. I can just be Jeff and have like amazing times with people, hang out with Mike, hanging out with Gabe, like, and all the people that I know. So it's been a great week so far. How about you, Mike?
I'm a little tired, to be honest. I don't know if I'm just getting old, but conferences seem to wear me down a little bit. I did not get the appropriate amount of sleep last night, but I'm here. I'm functioning, warts and all, and that's what this is about. This is about we're exposing the warts.
Yep.
I had something really smart to say, and I forgot what it is. So why don't we just bring in our guest?
Sounds great.
Gabe Landau is with us today. Gabe, who are you? What do you do?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
It's a good question. My name is Gabe Landau. I'm the Senior Vice President of e-Discovery and Incident Response Solutions at HaystackID. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
And I love this forum, having a space to be, me and you and whoever's watching, without judgment, and you talked about a lot of the fear.
Yeah.
Right. I too am in recovery. And these conferences can get really overwhelming, and I felt that so when I got into the space, 8 years ago, I was in recovery, and it was like, how do I meet people? Right. Because I'm in sales, making relationships and making connections, building trust. And how do you do that when it's really kind of everything is revolving around some sort of libation?
Yeah.
And it took me a while as well to kind of realize that, just be me.
Yeah. Right.
Be me, because I love people. Right. I love making connections. I want to learn about you. I want to learn about you. And pre-COVID, I'm very proud of not using, not having a substance in my body for a long time, and I'm okay with that with me. What I was worried about was, what would other people think about me? Would it make them uncomfortable because I'm not? And what I found out further to that was actually, people are really curious.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, how do you do this? How do you survive in an environment with thousands of people surrounded by the lobby bar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind of the center of gravity here.
And I'll tell you something too. This was the smart thing I was supposed to say before. You guys, both and others, have taught me how to sort of be more sensitive to what you're going through. Like, I can't imagine the pressure that you may sometimes feel, the triggers,
Well,
the memories,
It
right?
can be.
it can be at times.
And
It's
you know,
true.
maybe that's why I still drink. I don't know, so I don't have to deal with that.
Well, look, I come here on the backs and like the support of my work at home.
Yeah.
Right. Like this, for me, I'm fully plugged into a 12-step fellowship, and I need that for me because although I've been separated from, the substance for a long time, it's my mental state that's really at risk.
Yeah.
Right. What's at risk on a daily basis is my emotional well-being and my spiritual health.
Yeah.
And I take those really seriously, and I guard them viciously.
Mm.
And so there are times, like even last night, right? Like we did these dinners, and it was awesome. It was amazing, right? And then we went out, and I literally walked into a place, and within 2 minutes, I was like, I'm leaving.
Mm.
It's just time for me to go.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and that's okay.
It's totally fine.
I don't need to be. I don't have the FOMO.
This is not my spot.
This is just, I just don't need to be here. What am I doing here?
Yeah.
Right? Like, is it good for me?
Yeah.
Is it good for my health? Again, emotional, spiritual.
So does that calculus change though if, because you mentioned we're all in the selling business.
Sure.
If you're engaged in a conversation with a prospect or a customer, does that calculus change for you? Do you then hang out
Well, I think.
and watch everybody drink?
Well, I do. I watch everybody drink every day at these conferences, right? That's not where the issue is. People are awesome. And if it works for them, I love it. Like, I'm so happy that people don't have the consequences that I have. That means you don't understand
Amen.
the struggle and the suffering that I went through. And it was lonely, dude. Like, it was so lonely. It was so dark. I wanted to kill myself. It was really, really bad.
Let's back up a little, because I think we missed a fairly significant chunk of information here, and that is, how did you know? Like, I mean, in the programs, they talk about that person finally hit rock bottom, right? How did you know it was time? We've heard Jeff's story. I'd be curious to hear your story, and then we'll talk about it.
I mean, I had multiple rock bottoms, but I haven't drank in 19 years, right? But then, that's when like the opioid epidemic started to come, and my doctors were like, you should take this and this. I didn't know anything about addiction, man. I didn't think that was the problem. I knew alcohol was the problem. I didn't think it was anything else, and I certainly didn't think it was me.
Yeah.
Right. And so then it took me a long time to get to, I didn't know. What happened is I was looking at, I had my two daughters. They were young. They were 3 and 5. And I remember vividly, like plain as day, I was looking at them and I had a laptop open, and I don't know why I had a rehab. And I didn't know anything about rehab or anything like that. So I was just Googling it because I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what. So I was like, maybe it's this.
Mm.
But then I had the moment of like, they're probably better off without me.
Ooh,
And I was like, I think it's time.
that's rough.
And then in an instant, a moment of clarity happened. I was giving grace, whatever you want to call it. And I literally walked upstairs to my wife at the time, and I said, I need help. And that's what started. So I don't know how I knew. It's just what happened. You know what I mean? And I'm so grateful for it. I really have never thought that it was possible to live like a purposeful life, right? With, integrity, with honesty, with like values and principles for which like I don't compromise. And if I do compromise, we talked about this yesterday. I feel that, man. So like I don't want to do that again.
It's like everything in life. There's consequences.
Yeah. And so, I just have to make the choice to not do that, right? On a day-to-day basis. And sometimes on an hour-by-hour basis or maybe minute-by-minute basis, right? Like, it's not like I got clean and life got great. That's not my experience.
It's work, right?
Well, I got clean, and then like I had to deal with me.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All the emotions, all the fears, all the issues, nothing to mask it, nothing to suppress it.
All the ugliness.
Yeah. All those things that like I didn't want to look at, and then that's when it worked. Yeah. And thank God for it, man. For me, my life is immensely different and way more rounded and grounded, and just the arrows, like, I just have a North Star, you know? And that's just, it's an amazing gift.
Well, we're glad you're here, bud.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And I think it's interesting, and a number of things. Obviously it's not for everyone. However, there are times where I'm like, man, it's a gift to have like that North Star and that a program, a design for living, where you're like, man, okay, I know if I'm getting agitated about some situation, something someone else did, or some situation that I'm in, I can only affect what's inside. I can only work on myself. And we were talking about that, like you kind of start to know better. And it's like, man, these are the things I would drink over because they were agitating me. And I'm like, I don't want to feel agitated. I want to be the happy-go-lucky guy. I want to be the one people want to hang out with. So I'm going to numb this out and, just drown those feelings and suppress them. And one of the things you were asking about is like, how does that change in the conversations where like, okay, I'm not going to be at in this place because this party's getting crazy. I don't need to be here. But if you're with someone and you're having a conversation, you mentioned in a previous interview that idea of service. Yeah. And like all of a sudden you start to focus a little bit less about the internal like doubt and like some of those voices. And you're like, how can I be of service in this moment? Should we have this conversation now? Like, do they need to talk? And like, how can I best be a support to my company in this situation at these conferences? Like, I'm supposed to be at stuff, but then at the same time, they also don't want me out until 3 a.m. anymore. I thought they did. I thought that's my job. But the reality is I can make smart decisions so I can be of service and the most effective person in these conferences.
Yeah, it's true. And that's a really good point. I think it's a really good point. And all the relationships that I have, I don't have the ability to put on like a facade. Right? Yeah. I am who I am. And I may not be for everybody. And that's okay. All my clients know what I'm about. And some of them know the gritty details, some of them don't. But they all know what I'm about. And if I'm having a prospect or conversation, it could be turning my perspective to be of service, or it's like, look, man, are you okay if I leave you? Because I think it's time for me to go. And you know what? It's the weirdest thing with that vulnerability of being like, I need to call it. It brings a level to that relationship that was completely unexpected. Really unexpected.
I've got a question for both of you, actually, because I don't know that I could answer the question. I haven't had your jobs. Part of the reason why we do this, we share the story, because there's hopefully a listener out there who can identify with what you're saying, what I'm saying, you're saying. And if they're struggling, they might reach out for help. Sure. They don't have to reach out to us. We're going to give some resources too. But here's my question. How hard, because I'm sure we have listeners who work at companies, how hard has it been to sort of either seek the support of your employer or get that support? Because again, shame, right?
Big driver. Yeah. I got really lucky. My experience, and I don't know yours, is that where I work at Haystack, they're fully supportive of.
But how do you even start that conversation? Like, do you go to someone and say, "Hey, I got lucky.
I was clean when I started at Haystack, so right. But I will say this: that when we have affinity groups, and part of the affinity groups, one of the initiatives that I brought to the table was to bring a recovery and mental health one, and no problem. Like it's in, and it's one of them, and it's running, and people go there and they share and they get vulnerable. I actually think that COVID actually helped us a lot, right? COVID was really challenging for a lot of reasons. And it was really bad for me personally, being isolated. I'm absolutely not meant to be on an island. I am meant to be with people. It's how I thrive. It's what fills my cup. But one of the great things that came out of it was that the importance of mental health, right? And the importance of talking about it and saying that, like, it's okay not to be okay. Yeah. Right. Like some days I just got to get to the pillow. Right? Some days that's great. Some days, don't use get to the pillow. Don't cause harm. Right. And then other days it's like really productive and it's awesome. I'm doing all these great things. And it's a complete prism of emotional, health. But for us, we do have avenues at Haystack where you can go that are clearly defined and paths to go to without judgment and without recourse. And that's the shame part. So it's the internal shame and the suffering in silence, which is, I wish on nobody.
Yeah.
It was really hard, and it led me to really dark places. And I hope nobody ever has to go through that. So any way I can help and be of service with that, I'm all in, always.
Sure.
And inside a professional and outside of a professional environment. But then it's the outward fear, right? Which is like, I don't want recourse.
Right.
I don't want people to judge me as a person. And then I also don't want
or treat you different in any way.
Correct. And I
It's
don't want
not
correct people now they think that I'm not capable. I can't handle things, right? Things like that happen in the professional environment where I think those barriers and those walls have really come down dramatically since COVID.
I think so. It's definitely been more of a normalized conversation and it's something I've talked about a few times where it's like I felt more concerned to let people know I was in recovery than I did when they saw me, a complete mess. And so the irony is like I actually got a better life and a better program, but I was like concerned to say I'm in recovery because that suggests I might have a problem. And the reality is I have a solution, right? And so for me, I was using and got sober in this industry and like within the same company essentially. So I've been with Epic for a very long time, and I had managers that were supportive, understanding, patient. They saw what I was going through. They saw those depths that I was falling to and not showing up. They were firm, letting me know, hey, like this is not okay, and we're here to help. So I had support along the way. It does take that individual, like you mentioned, that white light moment where you were like, I need this for myself. Yeah. Unfortunately, someone couldn't tell me. People did tell me for a while. So by the time I said, hey guys, I'm actually sober and I'm getting help, and it is degrees. You don't necessarily have to broadcast to everyone. I am now because I firmly believe in leading by example and letting people know it's okay to ask for help. But at the time, like I was careful who I told and who I talked to about it. And the same managers that would look at me with that kind of like is Jeff okay today? Yeah. Became managers that they would say
I didn't know. Like I'd seen you in business circles and I had no clue until you actually sat me down and explained.
And we get really good about hiding it as much as we can until we can't.
It's funny how it's not noticeable. Like unless you're like actively looking. I imagine like a manager or something is gonna hopefully pick up some cues.
Well, in sales, what's challenging about that is you can mask it in performance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
You can mask it in the success. The KPI of a salesman is revenue.
Right.
Right. And it just is.
And I was going to say, like, do organizations look at that and say, who cares what he's doing? He's generating revenue.
I can't speak for other organizations. I can speak from my experience at Haystack. We absolutely care. I mean, not because of like bad tarnishing to a reputation. We care because people are people, right? Mm-hmm. Like people are people, and people matter.
Stop. Period.
Yeah,
period. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was gonna say, like, since we are at a conference and we're talking about like, these things we're going through this week, maybe we devote a little bit of time to talking about some practical things that we can share with the audience for like how to navigate these like things if you're like, I want to drink less, or I want to talk to someone, or just like, hey, I'm drinking, I just want to take better care of myself. Yeah. So I'm just curious, Gabe, is there like, do you have a routine or like things that you do to kind of prioritize yourself in these situations?
Yeah, for sure. Well, for me, I mean, and this is not for everyone.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I keep in contact with my network at home.
Yeah.
They know what I'm doing, where I'm at, and so they could always call if anything goes. I just want to know people what's going on. I have a routine, like a spiritual routine I go through in the morning and the night. That helps me grounded. I start gratitude lists in the morning, and at night I do other things. And then I generally take a little time away for myself throughout to just center myself. Yeah. Because it's very overwhelming. When I saw you guys yesterday, man, my brain was an actual pinball machine. It was bing, 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 sound, people, high. It was so much.
It's very disruptive. It's overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
And even for someone, I'm not in recovery, but
Yeah, just in general, man. It's just so much
It's
going on
overwhelming.
because there's so many people to see. I get real excited to see people. I'm very passionate. I want to hug.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm allowed to hug, I want to hug.
Yeah.
If not, I want to pound or whatever it
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
and talk and see what's going on. How are you? So I need to step away. And what I do actually is whatever. I actually go to my room. I shut the lights off. Turn my phones completely off. I take my clothes off. I go in my bed and I just sit there in silence for like 10 minutes.
Amazing.
It's not a pretty sight, but it's wonderfully effective.
I love this, and that is actually something that I do, not quite that level, and not in your room either. So I have my own way of just like I tell people like that are like early in recovery or just like overwhelmed. I'll just say I'm going to the bathroom, and I'll just like go hang out in another room, scroll my phone, maybe go on Instagram, just veg for a sec.
Yeah.
Because like that 10 minutes, no one's really like, where the heck are they? Like, where did they go? So that's why I try to encourage, like, prioritize your time. Have your routines. For me, it's running, spiritual at the start of the day as well. Try to do some spiritual stuff at the end of the day as well. We have like the gratitude. I love the idea of writing a gratitude list. A lot of times when I'm stressed and I'm like really angry at something at work, if I write a gratitude list and include the thing I'm angry at of like, you know what? I'm upset with this dang project, but I'm grateful I have the opportunity. Even saying that right now, I'm like, oh man, I don't feel as mad anymore. So there's like little practical things you can do along the way, even if you're not in recovery. These are just good practices to have.
I think so. The other thing I would say is find an ally.
Yeah.
Right? Or find a friend.
Yeah.
That you can really like talk to. And I don't mean trauma dump. I don't mean you have to dump on the book. But if like something's really going on, you're really, really struggling, find an ally.
Nice.
A one-on-one connection that you trust that's not going to broadcast it because that's mission critical, right? When you're getting super vulnerable.
Yeah.
And just go like, hey man, can I check in with you for a minute? You know, and
Yeah, that's super cool. I've had people say that to me. I just need a minute with you.
isn't that a great and it's funny, like I feel like that's
And who says no to that? Like,
it's such a gift. You're giving that other person
Yeah.
a gift.
just being asked is like an honor.
You're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like someone trusts me in this way, with
Yeah.
this secret or this vulnerable moment, and they want to give this to me and trust me with this.
Yeah.
It's a gift. When someone does it for me, I'm just like, you made my day.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with me. I think really appreciate
I
it.
think that's the real superpower in this. You've mentioned it a few times, just being open and just being like, you know what, I'm not okay right now. And just like, you know, we're all, and I'm the same way. I'm high energy, like, hey, how's it going? Like, so glad to see you. And like, I exhaust myself. Like you just said, my brain's a pinball. And it just like level set with someone, be like, you know, I'm actually kind of worn out right now. I'm really tired. Or like, I'm just not feeling it, but let's chat. And it's like kind of like bringing that down. And guess what? That's me doing it for myself, right? Because it's like, I need to help myself.
Yeah.
I need to prioritize and make sure I'm like not overextending myself.
I wasn't going to say this, but I feel bad because you guys share so much of your personal life in these broadcasts. And I have this thing, like I get anxiety from traveling. And the sole source of that anxiety is my wife. Because for so many years, I was on the phone with her or the care worker at home. And I always had somebody to call, a reason to call. I always had to check in. I always had how's everything going? Did she take her medicine? And those things. And I don't have to do that. And I'm like completely released of that responsibility. And it gave me, this is the first time I really spent significant time away. It gave me anxiety. And so what did I do? I took my camera. I walked probably 7 or 10 miles up and down the street, taking pictures of architecture.
Love it. Love
And
it.
that
Dude.
was
Self-care.
my moment.
That's a
And
really good
yeah.
self-care. And you listen to yourself.
Yeah, no, I knew I was,
So you're like, something's,
I felt off.
and you did something for
Yeah.
you.
So not quite the same, you know, I'm
It's
not,
very much
very
the
much
same.
the same.
It's very much the same.
but it doesn't come from a place of chemical dependence, you know.
Comes a great
It's
not.
an emotional toll. That's what
That's what it's about for us today.
That's the drinking was a symptom,
Yeah.
you know, but
That's
that's
fair.
that's
That's
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my problem, sorry, is me.
Yeah.
And what goes on
Yeah.
between my ears,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It's a circus up there. You know, and I don't even know who's like conducting it, man. It's just, I don't know if it's the monkeys, I don't know if it's the tigers, or, you know, or with Barnum Bailey. It's
Everything all at once.
you know.
We got a few more minutes, and one of the things we like to do always is, for people who are listening, we want to try to give them some resources. So the first thing that came to my mind in terms of resources is, because we talked about your employers, and I know my employer, I know every firm I've ever worked at has some kind of program, employee assistance, an HR person, whatever, someone you can go to, use those resources. Some people think they're not helpful because they don't really, but I have found them to be incredibly helpful.
Huge allies.
Yeah.
They really want. Again, my experience is my experience, but they huge resource that actually cares.
And then at conferences, what a lot of people don't know who go to conferences, I know you know this, I don't know if you know this, there's sober meetings all over the place now.
Yeah.
It's common. I at every conference I've been to recently. Yes, it's a fairly recent phenomenon.
Yeah, and this is what's great, actually, and whether they're called Friends of Bill meetings or sobriety meetings, whatever, there's usually on the app, on the agenda, first thing in the morning, during the days, right? And that's also a way to get connected
with others. That person you can say, hey, I'm not okay.
There's thousands of people here. So that can go wrong. If you could bring that a little smaller, it makes it a lot more magical. So that you just see them and you're all giving each other the look.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what I mean? And it's a really nice thing, a really sense of belonging. Yeah.
Resource.
Yeah. I mean, for me, again, professionally, certainly the employer, certainly finding a friend and an ally outside of here. My experience is there's a 12-step fellowships. That's what worked for me. It's not for everyone. It did work for me. The only thing that worked for me. And there's a ton. There's apps that's very simple, or websites, and I'm not going to name them. That's anonymous programs, but there are 12-step fellowships.
Resources, Jeff?
I mean, it's very similar, and I think always having therapy in the mix, someone to talk to on a regular basis that really knows what you're going through and can help you explore those emotions, in a continuous, having the ability to have that history and share your story over time and see how you grow and see how you're handling things.
It's like, so, we talk about attraction rather than promotion, right? We talked about that by leading by example. Yeah. Right. And it is possible, right? And that's it. That's the big takeaway that it is possible to live a life, if this is what you need, without the use of a substance. And if it was possible for someone who did what I did and how I did it, it's absolutely possible for somebody else. Yeah. And you're not alone. There's a ton of us. Yeah. There's a ton of us. Yeah.
And there's a ton of me.
But you're a huge ally.
Yeah. No, just feel free to approach me. If I can help, I help. I mean, that's what I do. I'm a helper.
Hey, you got this thing going to have this forum, so thank you. Yeah.
Yes. All right, so we're almost out of time. Closing thought?
No, listen, I think just kind of wrapping it up in a moment of the conference. It's just good to back to the allies and seeing people. It is nice to have these conversations in the midst of the chaos, and this right now calms me down. So I can just advocate saying talking about this stuff. The act of talking about it calms me down. This is kind of reset my energy level. So I highly advise, we're all saying,
and same for me. Just talking about my grief, is therapeutic. It may be off-putting to some people, but I talk about it openly. I'm not. That's how you get through it. That's right. Let people know what you're going through.
Let's say, was it pain shared is pain lessened?
Yes.
Right.
There you go.
And for me, I couldn't agree with you guys more. It also kind of normalizes, for me internally, talking about struggling or challenges or emotional well-being or whatever, because that's what I'm going through. That's me. I am not sitting here telling you that I know everything all the time for everything. I just don't. We talked about three of the most freeing words. There's three word phrases. One, acceptance is the answer to all our problems. Acceptance is the answer. And that was huge. I was like, oh, okay. And then the other one is, I don't know. It's great to say I don't know. I don't know why I like it so much, but I'm like, I don't know. But I'll think in sales perspective, I don't know, but I'm going to figure that out for you. Just give me a minute, or or whatever it is. It's great, man.
And asking for help.
And yeah, exactly.
The continuation of that is like, but I'll find out. And now I'm asking for help. Someone else can be of service for me. And it's this cycle of like just getting out of my own way. I don't have the answers.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we are at time. I want to thank Gabe, number one. Thank ACEDS and MCG, and of course my co-host Jeff. Say goodbye, buddy.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this journey, one step at a time. Mike?
You are not alone.
All right.
Remember that. Let's keep showing up for each other.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.